Well, good afternoon my YouTube friends. I'm in the grow room and it's 3:35. It is 21.9 C in the grow room and it's 51% humidity. And all these Phragmipediums I'm going to show you now have been in the bathroom. They've been watered and they've also been flushed through with rain mix fertiliser. And here we go. I thought, oh dear, am I going to show you these? So let's just have a look. We've got a new growth down there. Let's have a look what the name is first. Here we go. Mary Bess. Okay, this was bought 2018 from Burnham's as a £6 seedling. And we've got that new growth there. Can you see that new growth there? And I've sprinkled just some charcoal on the top. Anyway, let's have a look. If we can show you in this light without getting too much reflection, because I've got the there we go. I've got the light behind me, that's the trouble, you see. So it looks as though, when did I last repot this? 0120, and so some of them have recently repotted, but this one seems to have settled nicely. There's one of the roots, there's some of the older roots. Can you see how they go through there? And let's bring you around this way. Normally I leave them in the bathroom and then tomorrow I'd just flush them again with rainwater. And there's that one. And so that, oops, I'm in the way, aren't I? There we go. So that one is doing exceptionally well. And you see, going all the way down now, right down into that reservoir. So that's Phragmipedium Mary Bess. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put them on the shelf as I document each one. And this one we're looking at now is Phragmipedium grande. This is one that I've had off Ed. You see those nice leaves, and we've got the old part here, which is discoloured. And let's just turn this one round and let's have a look. Now when did we repot this one? 1220, so this has only just been repotted, and that's why I'm checking it, just to make sure everything's fine. This is the old growth here, and there's that new growth. So let's have a look if we've got any root development at this moment in time. There's the old roots there, can you see? There. Let's have a look. There's another old root. I think we might have an old root there. Now, there, can you see there? I think that might just start to be awakening, and that's coming from an old root. So we've taken you around that way, and let's take you around this way to see if there's any activity around this area. That's an old root there, can you see? And so at the moment we've got no new growing roots that are visible. Now I'm not too worried, because I did try and position some of these newly emerging roots down the centre. And oops, we're dribbling out of on this cloth. But there we go. That's Phragmipedium grande. Now the one we're looking at now is Phragmipedium lasverinus. Again, this is a division from Ed, of Ed's Orchids, and I've had to put it in this tray because the cloths are wet now. So I'm just having a look. That's an old root you can see there. And let's see. I think this must have been repotted. Yeah, 12, 20. So I'm not expecting huge root growth. Just wanting signs that they're settling down now. And you see there's that root coming from here, from high up in the pot, and it's travelling down there. Oh, look at that, that's nice. So that's nice. We've got 2 growing tips there. Now are they from, no, I think they're from 2 different directions. So that's great news. Have we got anything else? I'm not expecting to see anything else. I'm anxious to make sure that they've accepted the change in media. Well, it's only been cleaned, and like I say, now they're fed with just a spoonful of rain mix. That one's fine. So that's Phragmipedium grande. Now the one we're looking at now is called Andean Fire, and this is another one from Ed, of Ed's Orchids, and it's doing quite well now. I did have a couple of breaks in the leaves, and I do believe this one's recently repotted. Yes, 12, 20, and let's see if we can see anything happening here. Okay. What's that there? Is that a tip? That started to develop. I'm not too sure, but we've got the root coming from that direction. And the old root goes round there. And let's have a look. Again, I've put a tiny bit of charcoal on the top, and if we carry on down, there's an old root in that area, can you see? And we've got that new growth there. That's just recently developed. And we've got this new growth here, which is still growing. And so it's doing very well, this one is. And that's a really old root, that one. So I'll have to look at that in a couple of weeks and see whether or not we've got any really active growing tips. So this is Phragmipedium Andean Fire. Well, here we go. Another one, Garum Weaver. And I do believe this one's also from Ed, of Ed's Orchids. And again, we refreshed this media December 20. Notice I've just put a little bit of charcoal. There's some just bits I'd got left over. And let's have a look at this one. This one cascades over very nicely. And I quite like the finer leaved ones. So let's have a look at these roots. And there we go, you see. So this one's quite happy. It's in this refreshed media, and we've got 2 active on this side, 2 active growing tips. And let's see if there's anything through here. I mean, I'm very lucky in the sense that I managed to get these big tall containers, and I've grown them since I've got these big containers in organic media, and they've adapted to it very nicely. Now I don't want to disturb them if I can help it. I mean they haven't been disturbed for 12 months when I started to refresh the media, so this will stay in this media again for another 12 months. Right, so that's the big ones, the big Phragmipediums on this top shelf, and all in a row. There we go. And we'll look at some of the ones that are in the smaller containers now. This is Phragmipedium richteri. Now I think I must have bought all my orchids from Ed, bar 3, which I got from, bar 4. 3 I got from Burnham's and 1 I bought back as a seedling from Madeira. So we're looking at Phrag richteri here. Now this is a second growth. The first growth I originally had was when Ed's wouldn't flower for him, and the division that Ed sent me, it actually flowered the first year, and then I've changed it over to this inorganic media, and it's not flowered yet, and that original fan died, and it sent out this new growth before it died. So that's Phragmipedium richteri, and this, I'll show you where this goes in a minute. Right, so the one we're looking at now is Phragmipedium rothianum, and again this was refreshed 12/20. This is one of those seedlings that I had in February 17 from Burnham's, and this is a slow grower, but let's just have a look if there's anything in any of this media at all that gives me any indication. I'm not expecting to see any roots. The reason being is when I planted them all back, I tried to place the roots down the centre to enable them to adapt. So there's nothing there, but we don't worry about that. Now the one we're looking at now, this is the seedling that I brought back from Madeira in 2015, and the tiniest little seedling you could imagine. I really don't know how it's managed to survive, and I've not changed the media. I changed it in September 19, but that wouldn't have been, oh yes it was, it would have been in this inorganic media, and then I refreshed it on January 20, but I've not touched it since, and you'll see by these little speckles of the fish blood and bone, and that's one of the reasons that I'm not using it this time, because of the mess it makes of the media. And you can see that this actual media isn't layered, but you see we've got a root there that's gone down into that reservoir, and it's travelled all along. Oh, I think, if I remember, this was in one of the big tall vases, and I changed it specifically to put it in a smaller one, and there you see we've still got the roots travelling round. So while it's developing this new growth, I'm not going to be changing this media. There we go, you see. It looks as though that the roots are maintaining the health of the plant for the time being. Now what we're looking at here is Angraecum times Art Wigii, and this is one of those seedlings from Burnham's. So I think I must have changed this. I originally changed it 0918, 0120 and 1220, and this again, it's not a big Phragmipedium, and it's a very slow grower, but we've got that centre leaf coming out there, and let's have a look. See these? I've got finer roots. There we go, you see. And let's see if I've got any tips yet. That's an older root there. And if we manoeuvre around, let's have a look if there's anything down here. Doesn't appear to be. So we have to be content that there's a root, you see, an older root. We have to be content that it still seems to be adjusting, but it seems to be doing fine. So this is the last of my purchases from Ed, and this is Phragmipedium Humboldtii, and it's growing this centre leaf here, and let's have a look. I think this is one that I've struggled for it to see roots, and I've cleaned it. Now I didn't have a date on it, so I must have put it into this type of media 0120 and 1220. I've refreshed it, so let's just have a look if we've got any roots at all. See, we've got some nice clean fresh media, and that rain mix, it's marvellous because it doesn't leave any residue. And let's have a look. Oh, we've got something there. We've got something coming out of that area, and it looks as though, can you see the furry little furriness developing there, and that's usually a good sign that that root's active. So there we go. So those are all my Phragmipediums. So just before I put the Phragmipediums back on the shelf, what I've done today is I've also watered in exactly the same watering regime my Angraecum sesquipedale. And what I did the other day, I'd got some kind of algae, and so what I've done is I've put this white tape all the way around to keep out the light. We've got a water level there, and I think it's this way around if we are careful. It's on this plate because it drips, and here, can you see where those roots are there? Those roots travel down into this area here and travel along, and it does really seem to enjoy this type of environment. And I've got the label tucked in here, so I thought, the frags get water 3 times a week. I don't think there's the same need to water 3 times a week, but I thought, well, what I'd do is just for a short while we've got temperatures quite warm in the grow room, I'd just flush it like I do the Phragmipediums, and just to see whether or not I can get this one to waken up. I mean, I'd moved it that many times that it's a wonder it's survived. I did lose some bottom leaves, but it has survived, and I've not moved it. I've just put some charcoal on the top now, so that when that water goes down, it can freshen that reservoir. And right, I'm going to take my leave of you now, and then I just wanted to document the Phragmipediums. So from me to you, take care. Bye bye now.